Hello everyone, I'm Replay Heretic, and welcome to Torchlight 2. This is a game by Runic Games, released in 2011, and is the sequel to Torchlight that was released in 2009 by the developers who made Fate back in 2006. So, I'm going to just show off the mods that I have right now. The mods I have are the Ubuntu font, the Synergies mod, which is the most significant mod, and the Champion Names mod. The Ubuntu font and Champion Names mod are both cosmetic. They make everything look easier to read. But the Synergies mod adds new bosses, has like new enemies, new bosses, a couple new dungeons, and like everything else that it's full conversion. So it has new classes and new pets, especially. So without further ado, we're just going to throw ourselves right in. I'm going to be the Outlander, and I'm going to choose that. I'm going to choose that hair and this hair color. And I'm going to name this character. There we go. For this, we're going to have ourselves a pet owl. Now, the major thing about the Synergies mod is that it adds a few other other pets in this mod, most of which are human. You have Paladin, Ant Warrior, Skeleton, Spirit, Zombie, and a Zealot character. But we're going to stick to just an owl as a pet. And we're just going to name this... Actually, I liked Ray as the name. That owl seems like a Ray character. I'll try... How about this? Raylin. We're going to be playing on normal difficulty. The basic things about the difficulty is casual is just the easiest mode. It's just for fun and not challenge. But normal is for people that are new to the Torchlight series, and they have veteran for the people who are familiar with how Torchlight works, and the elite is the hardest difficulty for people that are just hardcore Torchlight players. I'm going to stick to normal so I don't look like a complete newbie at this. And we're also not going to be playing online, we're going to be playing single player. Stay silent for the cutscene.
Deep beneath Torchlight, a darkness gathered. Three heroes confronted the beast called Ordrak. Yet even in death, Ordrak's corrupted heart endured and called out.
So for those unfamiliar to the Torchlight games, they are a top-down RPG style. And if you've played Diablo before, then you might be familiar with how this game works. Torchlight 2 is a huge expansion on the Torchlight 1 game. With Torchlight 2, you have online capabilities with up to 6 players, but there is a mod on the Steam Workshop for 8-player mode. I don't have that enabled because I'm playing single player. Basic controls are you move around using the left mouse and the cursor, and you use the right mouse to attack with your primary skill, right down here. We currently only have Glaive Throw unlocked at the moment, but later down the road you can unlock skills, which are shown here. This is your skill tree. You have warfare skills, which increase the damage you do with specific spells, and your weaponry. Lore skills, which are pretty much for defensive, offensive skills. Like, you can increase the stuff you do with your glaive abilities. You also have dodge abilities and poison damage. And sigil skills are basically melee and a lot of other things. I haven't played this game as much, if you didn't know from my commentary, but each skill tree is different compared to the characters, so each character has a different skill tree that they can use. Up here you have your minimap. You can increase the size with the plus buttons, and if you press the M key, you can move it around to different parts of the screen or just turn it off altogether. Naturally, I like having it in a mystery dungeon kind of style, where it's like just there on screen instead of in the corner. In the top right, it tells you where your location is. It also shows you the options. Top left, it shows your pet's health and mana. You can also choose if your pet's going to be defensive, offensive, or passive. And the home button is for when your pet has inventory items. You can send your pet home and they can sell things for you and buy things for you. Down here, you have your health, you have your mana, your skills are all placed down here in this hotbar. And specifically for Outlanders, you have a charge bar. Just by damaging enemies, this charge bar increases, and all 4 of those skills will increase. You have health potions and mana potions. The experience bar is at the bottom. And if you need help on anything, there's a button right there, and also toggling names for items on the ground. The other things in the sidebar, you have your pet's inventory and health, mana, and everything, pet equipment pretty much. You have your character panel. When you level up, you can put up basic skills. And the Arcana statistics basically show you everything about your character. So for the heavy people, like, you can check out how it's going. It also shows you game data. So how long you've played, how long you've played per level, how many potions, deaths, gold, all these things. Basic statistics. You can zoom in using the mouse button, or the mouse wheel. We're gonna close general statistics, and we're also going to close, well, actually no, that's the only thing we really do need to close. Miscellaneous statistics show you the mana regeneration, how much you restore per second for health and mana, running speed, all these. If you want to talk to someone, you just left click on them.
I think this is as far as I can go. You should carry on to the Asterian Enclave, but you're on your own. Warn them that the alchemist destroyed Torchlight and is headed their way. He may be there already.
So, as I've pointed out before, Torchlight 2 is a direct sequel to Torchlight 1. In Torchlight 2, the area that you were in Torchlight 1, which is literally called Torchlight, has been destroyed by an unrelenting force that you thought you defeated in Torchlight 1. Basic things about getting quests: you have the quest name, the description page, your rewards you get. This is gold, this is experience, and the things you can get. Now then, as far as fighting goes, this is going to be interesting. There is actually no way to change the camera angle, that star on the screen is actually part of the map. It's kind of hidden because we haven't revealed any part of this map yet. This game uses Fog of War. And we begin our story. Left-clicking on things will let you do specific stuff. Getting unidentified items requires us to go into our inventory and identify it using an identify scroll. We're already getting attacked by ratlins. Just left-clicking on an enemy lets you attack them. Anything with a different colored text will mean that it's an elite or a tougher version of the enemy. You can hold down left-click for most of your stuff, and we have a spell scroll for elemental protection. We're gonna learn this ability. Right up here, you have achievements. Right up here, you have your spells. You can learn up to 4 spells, and then you have to remove them. And if you press W while in game, you can choose between your weapon sets. We don't have anything equipped right now because we don't have a level requirement. However, at the start of it, as an Outlander, you have 2 initiate match locks. Everything can be opened or closed based on menus with the hotkey. I shouldn't be explaining as much, and I should just get to the game. Also, holding down Shift allows you to attack without moving. A valuable thing to know for people that are wondering why they keep moving when they're just trying to attack an enemy. I'm actually really liking this Ubuntu font. It makes everything look nice. The original font looks a little bit more fantasized. Alright, here's a health potion. Oh, got death flingers. Like I said before, using the right stick, using the right mouse button, because this is a PC game. Using the right mouse button allows you to use your skills. So we have the glaive, our glaive skill, primarily. It's really hard to explain this game, just based on the fact that, like, everything happens really quickly. But more often than not, you'll see at the top of the screen when we're attacking an enemy, it'll show their health, what level they are, and at the bottom, just below it, it'll show what makes them unique. So the Ratlin Archer, we just got a level up too. So the Ratlin Archer fires flaming arrows, and normal Ratlins run away when their allies are defeated. So this is what the majority of Torchlight II looks like, basically. There is multiplayer, and I was told that I should be playing this online, but I'm not listening to them because I wouldn't really get a word in edgewise in terms of explaining everything. We would do everything really quickly. Also, I feel that the experience would probably be a lot more entertaining single player because you wouldn't have to worry about watching multiple perspectives at once or worrying about multiple people. Although it is just personal preference to people. There are some games that should be played multiplayer, and other ones don't really need to be. If the needs arise, then I will probably LP Torchlight 1 alongside, but to be fair, Torchlight 2 is a lot more entertaining. Oh, here's an upgrade to the War Beast. Oh, Jesus. My owl, I think, completely obliterated that thing. So all the basic things you're seeing on screen right now, damage ticks-wise. The orange numbers are how much damage we're dealing. Purple is shielded damage, so they don't take as much damage. Red damage is health lost for you or your pet. Blue damage means that you got a critical. And that's about as much as you need to know. I got another bow here. Let's see, what's in here? Gold. Now then, we did unlock the ability to use a bow. Both these bows are the same, so I'm going to open up my pet inventory and shift-click to send that item over to my pet's inventory. I'm also going to click W and equip my weapon here. And also, we're going to put our skill points in. I'm going to put some into Vitality and Focus. And I'm going to put a skill point into Rapid Fire, which is a huge help. So now we have multiple skills to use. We have the Elemental Protection spell, and we have the Rapid Fire spell. Just clicking Tab will allow us to switch these two skills, and pressing W in-game as long as you have two sets of items, like we do right now. We have the dual pistols and then we have the bow here. As long as you have two of those sets readied, you can press W in-game at any time to switch the weapon sets. Take note that each weapon has a different use to it. The bow has more range compared to the pistols, but takes longer to fire. It also deals more damage. We got a pocket pistol here. It deals more damage than our other pistol, so we're just going to equip that. There's a lot of stuff that goes into each weapon, by the way. There's base of how quickly they fire, what skills they have. Like for instance, each of these weapons have a knockback to them. You see how fast they attack and how much damage they deal physically. Other base weapons do the same thing, so you can see how quickly they attack, and just my personal preference, it's better to have things attack faster for me, because as my character, I need to get as many shots out as possible. Later down the road, you can enchant your weaponry. It is a risky process, though. We'll get to that when we get to that. Which shouldn't be too far. We are firing this bow pretty quickly. And over there we saw the crested staff weapon. That is for, I do believe, engineers or alchemists. Also, if you right-click using your pet to an item on the ground, they will go pick up that item, which is fairly useful, including for later quests when you're dealing with the enemy. You can just, real quick, just have your pet pick it up for you. Go got level 3, so we're just going to put this back in. Rune Vault, Chaos Burst. We're going to put some points into Akimbo. Strength. Strength increases all weapon damage, so we want that. And I'm also going to put points into Dexterity. There we go. Now, about your skills. You don't just gain a skill point for leveling up. You also gain skill points if your fame increases. Fame is increased when you defeat an elite enemy, or a unique enemy, basically. A locked golden chest. Oh, there's a champion right there, actually. Elite enemies, I mean, are actually champions like this. So, he dropped a golden key, which we need for that golden chest. Alright, I'm just going to open up this golden chest. We get a lot of gold, and an axe for a character we don't have. Plated shield. Another thing that we can do is, instead of dual pistols, we can equip a shield. This shield allows us to resist amounts of damage and also sometimes block damage, at the expense of not firing as quickly as last time. We're going to switch to our bow real quick. Nope. Got that gone. And here we learn about socketables. Socketables can be put into weapons with sockets. They add specific attributes to those weapons. And, okay. Well, it looks like we can... I'm gonna real quick get this, this tunic. Now, here's the spec right now. The armor spec, if we had a weapon with a socket, we could put this in, and as you see, the Blood Ember spec. If we put it into a weapon, we would put 35 physical damage over 5 seconds, so about 7 damage per second. Or if we put it into our armor, which we can, it would give us an increase in health. We're going to do that with this Light Tunic of Warming here. It's enchanted armor. It has a socket, it has ice armor, so we would not take as much damage to... we would not take as much ice damage. We also gain health off of it anyways. We get poison armor and physical armor. We're going to put that in right now, and as you see, it shows the spec that we got in. Later down the road, you can either choose to remove gems or socketables at the expense of destroying that item, or you can destroy the sockets. Or you can destroy the sockets and keep the item. And looks like we got another spell here. We're probably going to teach that to our pets, because yes, pets can learn spells. Also keep in mind that in-game you can actually it's actually all still in real time. So while you're fixing stuff, you might get attacked. So it's usually a good idea to keep...
You a new recruit?
So it's usually a good idea to keep stuff like that in mind. The retribution... We're going to teach this to our pet just to show this off. When you have a spell, you got to put it into your pet's inventory to teach it to them. Now by default, the pet should auto-use that spell, which it just did. And here we are in the Asterian Enclave. The Asterian Enclave is where we need it to go. This will also show us a few new things that we need to worry about. So we're going to talk to...
I thank you for your warning, but it has arrived too late. This alchemist has already come and gone, and it was all I could do to prevent him from entering the Enclave. As it was, many Asterians were injured, and since the confrontations, more have become ill. We are not sure what is causing it. After his assault failed here, the alchemist carried on southward toward the temple steps. Commander Vale and her vanquishers arrived a short while later and pursued him, hoping to prevent further damage.
So, there we go. We learn more about it from Aldran. And we get to choose our reward. Now, this is where I get to show off a couple of other things. As you see, having this mouse gun would increase our attack speed, which means that it would be faster. But it has requirements. In the bottom of the window, you can see that there is a level requirement or a skill requirement, which means you don't have to be a specific level just as long as your skill points are high enough in one. So if we had Dexterity 24, we wouldn't have to worry about having a level 4. You could just use this scout gun as it was. Now this would be a great idea to have since we are almost level 4 anyways. Or we can choose to have another pistol or a shotgun.
Commander Vale believes that the alchemist might attack the Wellspring Temple in an attempt to reach the Guardian of Water. What nefarious purpose, I am afraid to speculate. There has been no word from either Vale or the Guardian. Scout the Wellspring Temple and determine if the Guardian of Water is in any danger.
So now we have another quest. Now let me show you a couple things in the Asterian Enclave. And I really should start a timer because I don't actually know how long I've been recording. Anyways, Tinya here is a general goods vendor. From here we can buy potions for resistance or just health potions in general. And we can also buy dynamite for fishing, even though it like decreases the amount of times you can fish in a fishing hole, but it'll let you catch fish automatically, I'm assuming. The waypoint portal scroll, if we use that, it will teleport us back to the Asterian Enclave as it is. and then we can enter the portal and go back to where we were. So usually we can make multiple trips back and forth to the Asterian Enclave. The identify scrolls, we already know what those do. We're supposed to use them to identify specific things. We don't really need anything here. And here we have the stash, which is actually where we put things that we have that we don't need at the moment. So like if we have a high level item, then we go here. The blacksmith has weapons, armor, and other things. So he'll have shields for you, he'll have armors for you, he'll have various weapons for all characters. We don't have anything at the moment to sell, but we can sell all the stuff we have currently. Even though I should probably wear this, because this is actually an important thing. This will probably replace that once we get the new thing. We'll sell this as well. So we'll sell all of these. Not really a point to keep it. There we go. We got gold. That's basically it. So with that quest completed, we can also talk to a person for respeccing our skills, which means that if we talk to them, we pay a fee, and all of our skill points are removed from their skill areas that we have put in, and we are able to put them back in wherever we want. This is a good idea if you build incorrectly for what you're trying to do, even though most of these are pretty well balanced. You can still put a lot of points into skills and experiment with your character to find out what you prefer most. Now also keep in mind that it shows our pet using its spell, and it shows the mana decreasing, and it shows at the top bar how long it's lasting. This is a leveling area for people who want to get a little bit of extra leveling.
You a new recruit?
Yes. So we just accepted a secondary quest. Our active quests show here, so currently we have to go to the Wellspring Temple in the Temple Steps and find Commander Vale to protect the Guardian quest. And the Warbeast Armory, we have to go to the Temple Steps and obtain armor schematics from Stumburn blacksmiths. But we'll cover that in the next episode when we go out to the Temple Steps via the Path of the Honored Dead and go on and do our own quests. So until then, I'm Replay Heretic, and tell me what you think about this first episode, and tell me what I can do to improve. I'll see you guys then.